Welcome to another edition of the Nightly News. Happy Monday, Ted.
Yes, a happy Monday to everybody out there. And remember, being happy on Monday is critical for your American dream and your quality of life, because after all, it is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I know it's treacherous out there, but be happy, compartmentalize the ugliness, and maximize the positive energy, spirit, and attitude with your loved ones and your family. So happy Monday to everybody on the Nightly News.
I have several topics I want to discuss with you today, but before we get into the topic, I want to say congratulations to Keith Compton of West Virginia. Keith Compton of West Virginia. Ted is going to be sending you an autographed copy of his new CD, Detroit Muscle, and you can win. You simply go to huntthevote.org, and put in the Patriot code TNNUSA, which is the acronym for the Nightly News USA, and you too could win one of those albums. All right, there's a lot going on in the news right now. We've had several shootings across the country. We had the Buffalo shooting. We had the shooting in the church in California. Of course, that brings out the negative 2A people, as always. But what's bothering me the most right now is that if the shooter is black or non-white, it's shoved under the carpet. If the shooter is white and the victims, or at least in part, are African Americans, then out comes the mainstream media. So I've got several things that I want to talk to you about this, but what's your take on what happened in Buffalo and what happened out there in the church in California? Let's start with that.
Well, once again, my heart is broken that America has come to this, that there's such savagery, such engineered recidivism, such unleashing of violent criminals and dangerous people, because everybody who perpetrates these mass shootings was on the radar. They were all either convicted of violent crimes in the past, or they were adjudicated as mentally deranged and on a list. And they weren't allowed to get a gun based on the tens of thousands of gun laws. So let's really focus on the glaring obvious here. All the victims were unarmed and helpless. Even that great hero, retired policeman in Buffalo who exchanged fire with the perpetrator. There's too much lackadaisical disconnect out there, even from some of my heroes in law enforcement, where they either don't have a gun or they've got a small gun and their tactics aren't finely tuned, and they know the perpetrator is wearing body armor, but instead of going for double tap center mass, they should have gone upstairs and put one in the head, and they're not trained like that. And I'm not criticizing this hero. He is a hero, and the Nugent family is praying for this great warrior that attempted to save innocent lives. But let's get right down to it. The media is glaringly racist. While this mass shooting took place in Buffalo, dozens of blacks killed dozens of blacks in various black Democrat-controlled cities around the country. And I hate and I apologize that I reference a color. But if we're going to have an honest debate and conversation about the horror of murder and the slaughter and the runaway violent crime and viciousness that our court systems and our failed Department of Justice is really at the foundation of, we've got to talk about the dishonesty of the media. This kid, this punk, was on the mentally ill radar, and by all laws that exist, he wasn't qualified to own a weapon.
One of the things that concerns me the most about this is we had a black individual in Wisconsin that drove through a parade of white people because he wanted to kill white people. President Biden didn't go to mourn with the victims up there. But the minute there is a white perpetrator that killed black individuals in Buffalo, President Biden couldn't wait to come out and talk about how this is the number one problem in America is white supremacy, the MAGA movement, and he's going to Buffalo. And I just think this is the type of behavior, Ted, that is causing the division. So what's your final take on this?
Well, once again, everybody better write this down because they didn't teach you at school. The Democrat Party created Jim Crow laws. The Democrat Party has a commander-in-chief that said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. I mean, check the history of the Democrat leadership and it is inescapably and glaringly racist. They never let a tragedy go without taking advantage of it, because their goal is to keep people dumbed down, to control people, and to disarm America so they can go Shanghai on us. If that confuses you, you need to do a little bit of research. I'm a guitar player. I do the research, and those words have iron and irrefutable truth, logic, and common sense, and it breaks my heart, Keith.
You know, Ted, we're going to get together as we do every week, every night this week. But this coming Friday, I'm going to have you tell our listeners about what you just did this past weekend with President Trump at a rally down in Texas. So if you're all interested in the behind the scenes look at what went on at the Trump rally down in Texas this last weekend, Ted's going to share his experience with you this coming Friday. But if you come back tomorrow night, and every night, as always, we're going to have another edition of The Nightly Nooch. See you tomorrow, Ted.
Truth, logic, common sense. I love it.